So.
I want Jeff's
Hey,
reaction onto yours. What do you think?
I like it. It's really weird still to see the whole thing put together.
Is it strange?
Sure. Yeah, it's very strange. I think it's pretty tight. I mean, that's what I like about it. There was one montage. I'll have to look at it again. You should send me a link.
Is when Hana came in?
Yeah, I think that could be tightened up a little bit.
Tightened.
Yeah.
The rhythm wasn't quite right?
Yeah, the rhythm was a little off.
Yeah, I think maybe you're right.
Some of the other montages just knocked it out of the fucking park, though.
It feels longer.
Longer?
To me, it feels longer.
In a good way?
Yeah, in a good way.
Like it feels like you had a full meal.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I didn't feel there was any scene there that didn't need to be there.
I'm getting ready for another, just go through each scene and all the little things that bother me, that don't hold up for me.
Sure.
I feel like if there was just a couple more beats here and there that could be added, it'd be better. I think it's amazing, though. I think it's...
You like the movie?
Oh, yeah. Like, it hit the emotional chords I thought it should hit.
Yep.
If you kept it exactly the way it is, I'd be perfectly fine with it. I'd be happy with it. Again, I want more space because I like the characters. I want more space because I like the emotions.
You want to spend more time with the
I want to spend more time with it.
She was really good, wasn't she?
Yeah, absolutely.
She was really good.
Very good.
Thank you, everyone.
I mean, is that worth 9 days of your time? I think it is.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. No, I mean that was never in question.
Yeah,
I mean, I especially like where she comes back, and I didn't know if I would, just because you're like, you fucking idiot.
It's kind of like the missing subplot in Sexually Frank, where you think that Frank is about to get with what's her name.
Yeah, that should be the moment where he has this like triumphant line that he says to her to take her to the car, and instead he just completely caves.
Yeah.
I remember you were worried about how cartoony it would be for her to climb the thing and stuff. But I was like, if I cut it before she starts to stumble a little bit, then it will look like she's just trying to like no, please, like
she's trying to be cute.
It looks good.
It does. It sure does.
Focus.
It sure does.
Everything's in focus. That's all I care about.
No, it looks really good. I think that the whole movie. I think it's our best looking movie by a long shot, and I think that it's visually motivated. Like I think that there's some nice motifs. Some of them were accidental. Some of them were intentional.
Well, I kept seeing people had highlights, and I was like, I remember when there was a conscious thing, and I remember that sometimes it's just like, oh, cool.
I'm really really happy with the way it looks.
The rehab bit was not clear to me. How it jumped.
Yeah.
Like, her drinking did not seem problematic in the scenes where she's introduced, and then for her to suddenly call from rehab, you're like, what, is it like, was she sent there? Did she go by choice? Well, it was so obvious after that her drinking was so problematic.
Right.
That was so clear. And then beforehand, I didn't see it at all.
We didn't want the first act to be about alcoholism. We wanted it to. We were hoping that, and maybe we're missing the mark, but we were hoping that upon rewatching, you would realize that there is alcohol in every single scene.
Yeah, I noticed this time. I'm like, John Ryan is drinking every scene.
Like every single
scene.
Yeah.
Underneath the couch and drinking.
Yeah.
And so that you're not. It's not this after school special about alcoholism.
Yeah,
but suddenly you're in rehab and you're like, wait, what? She's in rehab? We kind of liked, and maybe it's a bad thing, but we kind of liked the confusion. To then retrospectively start to look at the character, and it suddenly it's this jarring shift in like, who is this person?
Right.
And then everything to follow, the pregnancy, the cheating, everything to follow is colored by this problematic behavior. But I don't know. It's not the first time I've heard that. It's the glaring note that's like, I was sitting there during that phone scene wondering what was going on.
The pregnancy montage I really liked that one. That was the one I was trying to walk up to.
We can't use that music, but I love the idea of using ukulele depression music.
Yeah.
Like I just feel like Johnny could just go crazy with that idea, don't you think?
I mean,
just unleash him upon just make.
Yeah, and I like. I mean, the style of that one is perfect. He would do it in a second.
My roommate and her boyfriend watched the first 45 minutes of this when I did, and she thought that Mark and Carrie were going to get together, and
that's going to be in every movie I make.
Yeah.
That's fine.
I want to show her the last 20 minutes now.
That was supposed to be one of the beats too, where it's like when we showed people the script, they're like, "Oh, they should get together." It's like, no, they will never get together. Like that.
I don't know about anybody else, but I think watching the movie, I don't know too many people who'd be like, "I hope so."
Right.
I hope that it's clear that like your behavior isn't flirty with him. Really, it's mentorship, but it's not flirty, and his relationship to you is not flirty back. I think it's just a nice platonic relationship. You're endeared to it, but it doesn't make it romantic, which I think is really different for movies.
Well, and Carrie's really kind of the only rational character in the entire movie.
Yeah.
Just like real life.
I was just their very last scene together where he's drunk and you're kind of like, is he going to make a move here?
Yeah.
You cringe because you're like, oh.
Well, in the original script, he threw a hand up her shirt.
Yeah.
And,
really?
Yeah. But we not because he was into her, just because he was that. He was just
And then that phone call is even more awkward the next day, where it's like it's fine, like
Yeah.
you're kind like I know you're just a loser was really the
Yeah.
tone of that.
We ultimately thought that it was more powerful to keep the relationship utterly platonic, so that you can't even confuse that as a story. And I do think that's way better to do.
And then
that.
you just leave him wallowing in his own crapulence.
Yeah. John Ryan's thing was he was like, losing Carla is the worst because that's losing a person that should not be hard to keep.
Yeah.
I think losing her is the hardest because it's losing something more important than sex, more important than empty companionship. It's losing something meaningful.
It's weird for me to be like, did I just make this kind of like misogynistic
No, I think it's
No.
caricature of?
Well, I mean, Hana's character balances that out
Yeah.
to some extent.
But because
It doesn't pass the best.
there were little things in the script that we put in where it was like trying to balance Carla out a bit. But then at the end, I was like, wow, like there's really like I can't really think of too many redeemable things about her at all. By the end of
Yeah.
the movie,
I thought that at one point. This is like John Ryan's passion play.
John Ryan was pretty damn good.
yeah, he was great.
I thought it was. Is it wrong to say it seemed kind of like a spiritual sequel to Sexually Frank? I
No,
guess maybe-
I've been saying it's a cousin.
yeah, yeah.
It's in the same universe as in reality.
like Perfect Dark to Goldeneye.
I think that for the last scene when I originally kind of pitched that idea when I was finishing the script, you were like, it's sentimental, but we've earned it because we've been such cynical bastards throughout the entire thing.
Yeah.
The kind of speech that you give in the first third of that, it does that Kurt Vonnegut thing of like, I'm going to tell you exactly what this movie's about at the beginning.
My hope was always that you state the meaning of the film at the beginning, and then you spend the rest of it proving it.
There's just one thing that I noticed
Yeah.
in most of the scenes there was just two people.
Mhm.
There were very few instances where both people were in the frame,
Yeah.
which it was kind of like close up,
three
close
up,
up,
yeah.
close up, and I felt that got a little bit tiring after a while.
There's probably some room to help with that some.
No, I know that was a big concern of yours because so much of the film is two people interacting.
Yeah.
And trying to shoot that different ways.
We were trying to figure
without
it out,
being,
yeah.
like, I really loved the static shot at the bar though. The fact that they kept coming back to that same table as you watch
Well,
this whole progression.
Which is funny because it's really just a
That was
matter
an
of
awful
practicality.
necessity.
No, but I don't
We had
know.
45 minutes to shoot 3 scenes. That's how we did it.
So I
It
get-
shows a really great arc of just like their meeting, the romance, the fall, and then the final
Yeah,
breakup.
we did joke about that on set.
Oh, no, I thought it would.
We were like, maybe it'll work.
When I came
Yeah,
up
we're
with
like thematically we can justify this.
Yeah.
The montage of Carla when she goes back to her old boyfriend.
Yeah.
Is that all supposed to be one night?
Yeah.
Because she's wearing a different shirt.
I interpreted that as post-coitus.
Okay.
You know there's no pants after 7 p.m.
Yeah, it has more laughs than I expected.
Which I'm glad because there's not too many, but I was worried that
There's quite a few.
Yeah, which
More
was-
than I ever intended.
And some of the humor scenes are so obviously played for kind of ridiculous humor, and
Yeah.
then we had these like drama scenes, and I didn't know how that was going to come together, but
Yes, Anna?
I have
She
to
raised
leave
her
early.
hand.
I have
Yeah,
a
bye.
note.
Okay.
Teacher says I can leave early.
I gotta go, I'm sorry.